We gather on land known as Ndakina by the Abenaki, the original inhabitants of the area. We respect their spiritual relationship to the land and celebrate that their language and culture, including their art, is still among us. Good morning. Good morning. I am Juoia Santerre. I am the Religious Exploration Coordinator, and today I am acting as Worship Associate for Reverend Christina Sillari. Welcome, both those in the sanctuary and those on Zoom, to the Champlain Valley Unitarian Universalist Society, or CVUUS. Welcome to our special service today, in which we welcome new members and celebrate our annual flower communion. Many of you know I love flowers, so I'm very excited to be part of this service. If this is your first time, you are welcome to fill out a blue form so we can send you more information. We hope you enjoy this service, and as we often say, it will be different if you come back next week. We also have yellow cards you can fill out for big moments in your life you would like to be shared with the community, and pink cards if there is something you would like to share with the ministers or you're needing some support. If you need some assistance hearing, the kind tech people in the back can help you. Now, Reverend Christina will lead us in a chalice lighting, and Tyrion is going to help us light it.
Good morning. So originally, Reverend Barnaby was supposed to be here. He's the longtime retired minister, and he lives in Middlebury. Don't light it yet, sweetheart. And he was going to light our chalice. Reverend Tricia, the other co-interim minister, and I created a covenant with him. He's been away for 2 years, and he's going to start coming back to worship, which is very exciting. So today was going to be his first day, and he was going to light the chalice. And he texted me last night and said he was sick, and he didn't want to get other people sick, so he's staying home. But you'll see him at some point. Okay, now you can light our chalice. Thank you. So please join in sharing the words on your screen. Within the heart of the flower, the fountain of beauty. Within the heart of the community, a fire of hope. Within the heart of each of us, a spark of the spirit of life. Holy, holy, holy. And those words were by Reverend Amy Zucker Morgenstern. Our opening words are by Reverend Norbert Čapek, and you'll hear more about him later, but he was the founder of the modern Unitarian Church in the Czech Republic and creator of this flower communion today. Reverend Čapek spent a year in the Dresden prison before being sent to Dachau, where he met his death. He wrote the following meditation in Dresden in 1942. In the depths of my soul, there where lies the source of my strength, where the divine and the human meet, there, quiet your mind. Quiet, quiet. Outside, let lightning rain. Horrible darkness frightens the world. But from the depths of your own soul, from that silence will rise again God's flower. Return to yourself. Rest in yourself. Live in the depths of your soul where the divine and the human meet. Tune your heart to the eternal, and in the depths of your own soul, your panting quiets down. Where the divine and the human meet, there is your refuge. We'll sing now hymn number 8, which was written by Reverend Čapek, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit. So today's a special day. We are honoring and recognizing new members to CVUUS. So both Mike Greenwood, who's the head of our membership team, and Hannah Sessions, who is the president of our congregation, are going to help, so you can come up. And Mike has some words.
Good morning. As a faith community, we welcome all who come, from those who have walked through the door for the very first time today, to those who have found a home here many years ago. When new people sign the membership book, they become the voting members of this congregation. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, each congregation's membership has a great responsibility of charting its future and making big decisions, voting on the annual budget, approving new projects, changing the bylaws, and calling a new minister. Today we recognize and celebrate 15 people who have chosen to become signed members of this congregation during this congregational year. As I read your names, please come forward.
So Claire Tessier and Faith Comstock became members last year, so we just want to recognize the two of you. Yes, you can come up and stand, and Faith is not here, but I'm going to share a little bit about each. So Claire's a chemistry teacher from Ohio. She loves music and the arts. Is that correct? She has become a regular at Burnham Presents, the monthly musical offering in Lincoln. She's always up for an adventure or a game, and she has a spark that lights other people up. And you will often find Claire taking photos everywhere. Yes, and she resides in Virgins. And Faith, who I knew, she was a member of First Parish in Portland a long time ago. So I know her very well. She lives at Eastview, and you could say, for those of you who know her family, that she's Kathy's mom, but she is much more than that. She's a very deep, beautiful woman, and she's lived in many places, including the South, during the Civil Rights movement, and she has many stories to tell. So if you see Faith in worship, please ask her for a story. Okay, so now we have our members that are here today. So when I call you up, you're going to walk up here and stand here, and we're going to give you some stuff. And then after that happens, you're going to stand next to Claire, and you'll form a line. Okay, Karen Horn? Not here. Mike? She's not here. Should I read about her anyway? Yes. Karen is patient and kind, and she is musical, so maybe she'll end up joining the choir. With her partner Mike, they have lived in the LA area and Southern Oregon before moving to Virgins. Okay, now we have a family. First is Michelle Sponhelmer. Is that right? Sponhelmer. Oh, Sponheimer. Let's all say that. Sponheimer. Great. So for over 20 years, Michelle was a housing and department director in Iowa. And housing is still an interest, as she is an active member of our very own Addison County Interfaith Affordable Housing Alliance. Yay. Cooking and playing games are just two of her passions. Welcome, Michelle. And now we have her partner, Wayne Sponheimer. Along with Michelle, Wayne has many life adventures. So Wayne is a beekeeper, mead brewer, innkeeper, and construction worker. And he's used his skills at the Fenn House, and he showed up at the building facilities meeting on Thursday. Thank you, Wayne. Okay, and we have their son, Victor Sponheimer. So Victor's moving into the 8th grade this August. at Middlebury Union High School. You can stay here. You can just stay there while I talk about you. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. You are kind. And I'm very impressed that Victor comes to worship every week and sits through the service. I mean, it's pretty amazing for a young person to do that. He's an artist and a gamer. My granddaughter's a gamer. And you find community, right? And create community through gaming? Yeah, that's very, very cool. Okay, thank you. Oh, and you are fearless about justice, I hear. Is that true? Justice? 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 Okay, you don't have to say anything. Okay, you can go and stand with your parents. Bob Gridley? Hello, Bob. So Bob recently moved to Bristol and shares a lot with Kate Gridley, but they're not related. At least they don't know. Are you? You might be? Sure. Yeah? He's a musician. You're a musician. What do you play?
Vocal, guitar, fiddle, and flute.
Nice. And you love the arts. And before a concert in Burnham Hall, he was outside playing the flute for those entering the hall. Thank you for your music. Okay, you can go stand there. Carl Fritz. So Carl is supposedly retired. Is that true, Carl? Are you retired, Carl?
Am I retired?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard to retire. I know that. And he's been a self-employed construction contractor. And besides having a garden that is the envy of his neighborhood, if there's a protest regarding any injustice, Carl will be there. Thank you, Carl. And Eloise, come on up. So Eloise is currently writing a curriculum exploring Abenaki history and culture. She's also done work with the Champlain Valley Music Festival, Lincoln Center, just to name a few. And she's going to be talking to us a little later today about the organization that you work with, that we're sharing a plate with. Thank you. Johanna Nichols. So for those of you who don't know, Johanna Nichols is our minister emeritus. So she was the last settled minister before Reverend Barnaby. And she is very responsible with many leaders and others for what? This building, right? For creating this amazing building. And much to her surprise, the continuation of, she started the Rhubarb Festival, which I heard you said, we should only do it 1 year and stop. But what's it been, like 16 years or something? Yeah. So she's moved back to Middlebury recently and is definitely a part of our community, and she's a kind, gracious woman, and she's been involved in so many things, and she's made a positive impact, not just here, but in other places in multiple ways, and we are so glad you have chosen to come back with us, Johanna. Thank you. Okay, Karen Cooper. Karen loves cooking and the simple things in life. And she loves purple, which is my favorite color. She's patient. She's a very good listener. And along with her husband, Evan, who you'll meet in a second, she has a passion for theater, right? And not just as an audience member, but as a performer. So maybe you'll perform here sometime in some way, maybe. That'd be great. Open mic night? Maybe. Okay, thanks. Welcome, Karen. Evan Cooper, college chemistry teacher. College chemistry teacher.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. From Pennsylvania, who now enjoys retirement. Are you really retired?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Enjoys a relaxed pace of life, and you sing, right? You did sing at open mic. And the choir is now going to try and recruit you. Okay, thank you, Evan. And last but not least, Lance Zimmerman, who moved here from Connecticut a few years ago, where he still has his architectural firm. Lance has and also where he was a member of the Westport Unitarian Universalist congregation there. And he lives with his dog in Bridport, and he's recently widowed. And I'm so happy, Lance, that you're joining. And he has a great laugh and a great smile. So thank you, Lance. There you all are. Okay, Mike and Hannah and I are going to, and the congregation are going to talk to you. I know it's awkward to stand there, but it's going to be a few minutes.
We welcome you all to membership of this community of faith. At CVUUS, our purpose is to nurture and empower each other at all stages on our spiritual journeys and to reach out to the larger communities of which we are a part. We gather freely and inclusively, welcoming and valuing the rich diversity among us, and we are rich by your presence with us.
I was told to take it on the move here. Thank you all for being here and signing the membership book. It takes faith and courage to say yes, to trust a new community to take you in, to love you in your uniqueness, and to challenge you to become something more than maybe you have ever been. Who you are, each of you, is a priceless addition to this congregation. Will you join in the life of this society, giving and receiving the gifts of community? If so, please answer, we will.
So welcome, 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 welcome. It's so exciting to have you all here. Such a diverse group of people. So that I hope, and we all hope, and I'm sure the congregation will agree with me as I say these words, that as a member of this community, you will allow yourselves to be known and to know, to minister to and be ministered on to love and be loved by this community. We hope that in difficult times you reach out to this congregation, and we hope as members of this congregation we respond with love and support, and we do promise to challenge and nurture one another, to speak our truth, to act with compassion, and to live without prejudice and live with integrity, and to follow our UU values, and we hope you all do the same. So now, congregation, thank you all for being here, for showing up today for this important ceremony. So when people join this or any other congregation, they're joining a community of people. They're not joining because of a particular minister or a building, not even for a mission or a vision. They're here because of you. Because of you, the members and friends of this congregation are already generous, creative, diverse, interesting, kind, and people want to be a part of that, right? This good thing that you've all created here. So I want you all to take a moment and remember your own beginnings in this community, and that might be today, or it might be in 1983, right? So just remember who welcomed you. Who were the hands that welcomed you through these doors or the doors of the other buildings? So I invite you, all of you here, especially the members of this community, to extend your hand to them, yeah? To say hello, help them find their way through our sometimes complicated congregational experience, right? So, will you do that, members? Will you do that? Will you welcome these new members into your community? If so, say, we will. We will.
Okay. As president of this congregation, I welcome you, on behalf of all CVUUS members, past, present, and future. May we all be worthy of your trust. Will the members of this congregation, please, the other members of this congregation, please rise in spirit and or body as we say together the welcome of new members in your order of service and on the slide. No slide, in your order of service. No? Okay, how about we do a read and repeat? Yes. Call and response. We welcome you into membership in this Champlain Valley UU Society.
We welcome you into membership in this Champlain Valley UU Society.
Thank you for joining our community.
Thank you for joining our community.
Through your faith and your questions, we grow stronger as a congregation.
Through your faith and your questions, we grow stronger as a congregation.
Through your gifts and your energy, our possibilities multiply and our tasks grow lighter. Our possibilities multiply and our tasks grow lighter. Through the dreams that you cherish and your hope for a better world, our days become brighter and our vision is renewed.
Our days become brighter and our vision is renewed.
Welcome. We are so glad that you are here.
We are so glad that you are here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you can all be seated. Thank you.
That's a lot of new members. It's really exciting. I am here to share some pathways to connection. So there's always pathways to connection on the back of your order of service that you can check out, but we like to highlight a few up here. First and foremost, the Rhubarb Festival was splendid yesterday. And so many of you, so many people who are probably sleeping today, helped out with it, and it was amazing. And so I can't name every individual person, but there are so many, and a big thank you to all of you. Mary Hadley gave me a few numbers to share because she knew that you'd be curious. So we raised $6,193 in total. More than 145 pies were sold. There was around $1,000 sold in bling, $580 in non-pie food, and $385 in the cafe, and about $100 was given to the community in pies. So fantastic job, everyone. It was really, I was here and it was really fun. So then I need to remind you all that next week is the annual meeting after the service. So all members, please attend so we can have a quorum. That's important. Friends are warmly welcome and encouraged to attend to witness how our governance works and what exciting things are happening, because you all know there's, the search happening for the new minister. So there's a lot of exciting stuff. So if you have time, you should come. I would also like to invite Alice Berninghausen up here to talk about flower buds. There are people who actually make these gorgeous arrangements every week. So she's going to talk a bit about them.
I've always admired the work of NASA. It is filled with hardworking scientists, technicians, engineers, and astronauts. Oh, those astronauts. They are a breed unto themselves. They work in a job that is quite dangerous. They cope with being away from their families and their friends for weeks or months at a time. They work in a very confined space, doing all sorts of important research and experiments to better our lives. And they cope in a zero-gravity environment, which looks like a lot of fun to those of us earthlings who are watching them floating around. But actually, a zero-gravity environment is quite detrimental to the body, to the bones, to the muscles. And when they're up there floating around, they are losing muscle mass and bone density. And in just a short period of time, 2 to 3 weeks, I've read, they can lose 20% of their body mass. So it's not an easy environment. But the thing that really amazes me about astronauts is that while they're in space, they never feel the wind in their hair. They never hear birds chirping or watching birds fly by. They can never take a walk in the rain. They can never get their hands into dirt. They can never see or smell or pluck a flower. Oh, the flowers. There are many things that I would miss if I were an astronaut, but I think I would miss flowers the most. No. I would miss John, my husband, the most. Flowers would be secondary. Tall or bushy, tall or short, bushy or singular, fragrant or non-fragrant, thorny or sleek, coming in a wide variety of shapes and colors, flowers really enrich our lives. Now, if you've ever admired an arrangement each Sunday in this sanctuary, and in the entryway, and in the halls, perhaps we can entice you to join our group. We call ourselves the Flower Buds, and we are small, dedicated, hardy souls that take great pleasure in making this sanctuary and this CVUUS space just a little bit more beautiful every week. It's different. Our approach is seasonal. We do things that match winter, spring, summer, and fall. We work in solo, or sometimes we work in pairs or even trios, quartets. Have we ever worked in a quartet? I think we have, actually. Today, we had a lot of all hands on deck. The materials for our bouquets are from our own gardens, from the roadsides, from fields, and we also purchase a CSA from the Elmer Farm. So during the months, summer months, Elmer Farm offers a wide variety of flowers which are planted in their fields, and it's a lot of fun to bring a bucket and clippers and go out to their hillside place in Middlebury and pluck 50 stems and bring them back for our sanctuary arrangements. So I salute the astronauts, but I could never be one because I would miss nature too much. Besides, I'm too old anyway. They wouldn't take me. But the flower buds are a group that will take you. There is no age limit, no physical tryouts. All that is required is a love of nature and of flowers. So we welcome any of you to join us in the satisfaction of producing beauty for CVUUS from our Vermont backyards and fields and local farms. So if you are interested in joining the flower buds, talk to Marnie, where's Marnie, or Dinah, or me, and we'd love to incorporate you.
Thank you, Alice. It is now time for the offering. So here at CVUUS, our offering helps us do what we do, but we also give 50%, or share the plate, if you will, with an organization that shares our values. In June, our donee is the Vermont Abenaki Artists Association. And as it happens, one of our new members is very connected to the organization. So Eloise Beal, am I saying your last name right? Okay. Beal is Deputy Project Manager of the Vermont Abenaki Artists Association and Curator Emerita of the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum. Since 2007, she has worked with members of Vermont's Abenaki community to share their cultural heritage through an annual cultural event and special exhibition at the Maritime Museum. And she is going to share a little bit more about our donee.
The Vermont Abenaki Artists Association brings together a wide community of people whose indigenous ancestry in Vermont goes back to time immemorial. And yet the Artists Association was only formed in 2012 after 4 Abenaki tribes passed a rigorous process of becoming state recognized. They had, if you know the history, the relationship between the Vermont legislature and the indigenous people of the area has always been a balancing act and not always an easy one. But if you remember the Champlain Quadricentennial in 2009, when the state of Vermont celebrated with the entire region the arrival of Samuel de Champlain in 1609, at that point, I was working at Lake Champlain Maritime Museum, and our director said, before we celebrate the arrival of the French to the Champlain Valley, we should think about and open our programming to the input of the indigenous people, the lake's first navigators. And so for 2007 and 2008, we created a co-project with representatives of the Abenaki community and built a canoe that was a replica of the style that was used in Champlain's expedition, but had been in use by the indigenous people in the area for thousands of years. And so the day that the canoe was launched, we had an encampment, and representatives of the indigenous people were camped at the museum and celebrated, and it was beautiful. And the following year, we did it again, 2008. That was Quebec City's quadricentennial. 2009, even more, bigger, better. This was the Champlain Valley's celebration. And at the end of these 3 years of togetherness, we said, well, are we going to keep doing this? And we did. Everybody agreed. However, we were not able to call the event the Abenaki Heritage Weekend at that point because the artists who were participating could not officially sell their wares as Abenaki made. That was illegal. They were not recognized. I was shocked to learn that my tax dollars were being used to threaten people who wanted to market their wares as Abenaki. The next year, the representatives of the Vermont Abenaki community began a process of working with the legislature to create and adopt the protocols that would allow applying for state recognition. It wasn't the first time, but this time we were going to do it right. And in 2011 and 2012, petitions were submitted by representatives of 4 communities who then were officially recognized, I believe unanimously, by the legislature at the time. And so Vermont, by 2012, had 4 recognized Abenaki tribes. The Elnu in southern Vermont, down near Bellows Falls, the Nulhegan at the Northeast Kingdom Center, and then the following year, Missisquoi and Kawasuk in the Connecticut River Valley. They had a challenge because they live on both sides of the Connecticut River, so some of them were New Hampshire residents and couldn't be officially Vermont recognized tribal citizens. And then the Missisquoi, who are probably best known and had been literally on the map with their settlement and their relationship and participating in treaties. So I don't want to go on for too long, but that was, with those recognized tribes, the Vermont Abenaki Artists Association was formed at the collaboration of the chiefs and tribal leadership of all 4 of those communities. So the Abenaki Artists Association is statewide and, in fact, also includes people whose ancestry is here, but whose current residence may not be, but who still keep those family and tribal connections. So when I moved to Vermont from New York, I had wanted to meet Abenaki people, but I couldn't. There was no way to look them up, to find them. And now there is. If you want to meet and work with and get to know some of the wonderful people in this community, the Abenaki Heritage Weekend is the continuation that grew from that first Navigators project and continues and will continue. And I just want to say what my friend Vera, who is the director of the Abenaki Artists Association, said during the legislative hearings. I didn't know her well at that time. One of the legislators asked her, if we don't give you this recognition, what will that mean? And she looked them in the eye and she said, I will still be Abenaki. My children will be Abenaki, and my grandchildren will be Abenaki. And there was a round of applause. So she has dedicated her life since that time to running the Vermont Abenaki Artists Association, which, as I said, is intertribal and welcomes people connected to Vermont's Abenaki community from all over the region. And yeah, we would so much welcome all of you to come and meet people and see the varied arts. Also the the Abenaki Arts and Education Center, which is the educational side of what Vera manages. So it is a very rich and welcoming group of people who would enjoy meeting you and working collaboratively to make sure that this tradition continues. Thank you.
Thank you, Eloise. This morning's offering will now be gratefully received.
Thank you for your generosity on that. So we have our milestones and passages. So this is from Jean Terwilliger. Another wonderful rhubarb festival. A pie-filled thanks to all the organizers. Mary Hadley as chief stock in particular. Bakers and helpers. Great to see so many new faces. This is from Carl. Carl wrote a card for his wife, Brett, who had surgery last Wednesday. She's home and convalescing, being carefully attended by me and Paco. She's uncomfortable, but will be better soon. Though I am no cook, we don't need food. Actually, I talked to Brett the other day, and she kind of told me something different, Carl. All she said is she might like something soon. Okay, This is from Paul and Frances Stone. Our granddaughter Emily Stone from Middlebury just graduated from the University of Florida as Dr. Emily Stone of veterinarian medicine. Congratulations to the Stones and to Emily. And last week, Tom had put this little, Tom is our community minister, and I didn't catch it in the basket because it was white. But says he was back last week from Justice at the Intersections, a civil rights study tour. He was in Alabama and Georgia with his seminary, and he wants to express his profound gratitude to all those co-conspirators for justice in the Deep South. And it's pretty amazing down there. I've been there, and he met with heroes and prophets at the Southern Poverty Law Center, the Equal Justice Initiative, the King Center, Bethel Baptist Church, Ebenezer Baptist Church, Rosa Parks Museum, Sister Love, Emory Law School, the Carter Center, and more on the front lines of the struggle for equity and justice. They are living out what Francis Lou Hammer told us: nobody is free until everybody is free. And my final milestone and passage is about your other minister, your other interim minister, Reverend Tricia Hart. Her surgery was postponed. I was supposed to tell you that last week, and I didn't because she got COVID, but she did have it on Tuesday, and she's doing great. I talked to her, I don't know, Friday or Saturday, and she's doing great. She had a knee replacement, and she's hoping to be here in a few weeks. Let's just take a moment of silence.
It is time for the flower communion. The flower communion ritual is a beloved ritual in many, if not most, Unitarian Universalist congregations. It was first created by the Reverend Norbert Čapek in 1923 in Prague, Czechoslovakia, as an annual ritual that celebrates beauty, love, freedom, diversity, and community. On the last Saturday before the summer recess of the Unitarian Church in Prague, all the children and adults participated in this colorful ritual, which gives concrete expression to the humanity-affirming principles of our liberal faith. Unfortunately, the Nazis took control of Prague in 1940. They were threatened by Dr. Čapek's gospel of the inherent worth and beauty of every human person, and so sadly they imprisoned and later killed him. However, while he was in prison, his wife, Maja Čapek, traveled to the United States and introduced this flower communion ritual to Unitarian congregations. So to this day, Dr. Čapek's message of hope and decency and the beauty of diversity lives on. Many of you brought flowers this morning, and if you didn't, don't worry, there are plenty to share. We are going to honor the beautiful diversity of our community by each taking a flower, preferably one you did not bring in. It does not matter if you have been a member of this congregation for 30 years or if you are here for the first time today. You are part of this fabulous bouquet of people. First, I invite the flower children of all ages, who are going to put down their handicrafts, to come forward and hold the vases. When Jen begins playing, please come forward to choose a flower. So I'm going to invite you to come forward through the center aisle and then return to your seats through the side aisles. For anyone who finds it easier to stay seated, you can raise your hand and a flower child will come to you. As you process, please do so in silence and with reverence, reflecting on your unique contribution to this beloved community. Okay, it is wonderful. There are so many people for our fabulous bouquet of flowers. So we're running a little low on time, and I want to hear Reverend Christina talk about hope. So I'm going to turn over to her.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, choir. That was so beautiful. And thank you, Jen and Julia, who I love working with, both of you. And thank you for being flexible. Okay, what is hope? The best definition of hope I found comes from Juoia Cohen in her book, Blessing in Disguise. She says, hope is a skill of the heart. And skills are meant to be practiced, right? So if we want to experience hope in our lives, we need to actually work at it. We can allow hope to come into our hearts and unravel them, and then weave us back together. So for me, hope is a quality that illuminates meaning and decency, regardless of the outcome. It's an inner desire of knowing that it is, and it's often unexplainable, and it has the potential to improve my spirit or someone else's. And it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It has to be cultivated, like meditation or playing the piano. So for me, hope rises, hope longs, and hope acts. So it's rising right now in our hearts. Can you feel it? Right? It's beating with joy and also maybe despair, because hope and despair are two sides of the same coin, right? And especially in this troubled world, hope can act to protest injustice, to repair the brokenness in the world, to bless our children, to heal our planet. The Indo-European root for hope is koi, K-E-U, but it's pronounced koi. Koi means, anyone know? To curve. So hope is a change in direction. It's going in a different way than maybe we've been looking. And it's a courageous choice to move in a different direction when we're faced with despair. In some ways, the word hope is overused, especially in religious context, right? It's sort of like, can be flimsy, especially when it's portrayed as optimism, right? Václav Havel, former leader of the Czech Republic, says, hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but the certainty that something makes sense, regardless of how it turns out, right? And that's what we try to do. We try to make meaning. So you all have a flower right now. I want you to pick it up and look at it. Just look at that flower, no matter how big or small. And you might see hope in that flower, hope of beauty in the world, hope that the minerals of the earth, the blowing of the wind, the falling of the rain, the buzzing of the bees, the warmth of the sun continue to sustain our lives. Because without flowers, as Alice sort of shared earlier, in the world, would there be hope? I'm particularly fond of wildflowers, the ones that pop up unexpectedly in unusual places. Meadowsweet, violets, Queen Anne's lace, lupine, lily of the valley. They remind me of the earth's secret healing power, or as Wendell Berry eloquently expresses in his poem, the peace of wild things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be. I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting for their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. So wild things remind me of the mystery of the earth and our lives. And this mystery is created sometimes through ritual, right? Ritual, like we just did, it brings us beyond ordinary time and space. Marriage, blessing children, ceremonies like the flower ceremony, memorializing the dead, right? They bring us hope through our connection to family, love, life. So what rituals in your life give you hope? What's something that you do regularly that brings hope? Maybe it's meditating in the morning. Maybe it's walking your dog, saying grace before a meal, watering your garden, opening your summer home, praying before bed. Gabriel Marcel said, hope enables the individuals to move beyond themselves, to forge and strengthen communion with others. So CVUUS, right, brings us hope. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. Right? Maybe when we come to worship, it's a song or a poem or someone we haven't seen, a smile from somebody, a hug. Gathering with community, gathering with our families, gives us hope that we are not alone, that we can work together, that we can make a difference, that we matter. Hope is not a solo journey. It often requires others. So, where did you see hope this week? I know some of you saw it yesterday at the Rhubarb Festival, maybe. Even if you were working your butt off, right, Mary? So I saw hope this week in the mushrooms. Where's Jake? You still here? In the mushrooms in Champlain Valley Trails. I took a picture. We'll show you the picture. Right? I witnessed the hustle and bustle the day before the Rhubarb Festival on Thursday. And like this older couple who can't really even make it to worship on Sunday. One of them's in his 90s. They drove here to pick up 4 pies, to bring them home, to bake them. Like, how beautiful, right? So much hope. Meeting with a young adult who's here, as we talked about justice, right? Talking with a member at the residence, where we talked about our innate healing ability. Awakening to the glorious sunshine over Lake Champlain. Welcoming our new members, the children. So perhaps it's connection and communion we all hope for. Communion with what? With our own hearts, right? The natural world, our loved ones, our community. Or that immanent, transcendent energy that some of us call God. So this communion and connection happens when we are present to ourselves and another, right? As long as we humans are on this earth, on this glorious earth, there's hope. We actually can't get rid of it. We may lose it for a while, but we cannot annihilate it. I love this poem by Lisa Muller. She's a Pulitzer Prize poet. It's called Hope. It hovers in dark corners before the lights are turned on. It shakes sleep from its eyes and drops from mushroom gills. It explodes in the starry heads of dandelions turned sages. It sticks to the wings of green angels that sail from the tops of maples. It sprouts in each occluded eye of the many-eyed potato. It lives in each earthworm segment, surviving cruelty. It is the motion that runs from the eyes to the tail of a dog. It is the mouth that inflates the lungs of the child that has just been born. It is the singular gift we cannot destroy in ourselves. The argument that refutes death. The genius that invents the future. All we know of God. It is the serum which makes us swear not to betray one another. It is in this poem, trying to speak. So may these summer months coming up, may you curve, right, to find hope. May you remember that hope rises, that hope longs, that hope acts. May you find the places, as Reverend Chapek says, where the human and the divine meet. May you engage in rituals that bring you beyond ordinary space and time into the mystery. And may we all return to ourselves, rest in ourselves, and flow and change direction with the wind and waves of hope. Blessed be. May it be so. We're going to sing hymn number 346. Come sing a song with me. Julia, will you come and extinguish the chalice? Oh, closing words. Can you skip to the next slide? Thank you. Let's all share that. Extinguish this chalice, remembering always to keep love at the center. Thank you, Julia. So our closing words are from a children's book called Hope for the Flowers. I remember reading it to my daughter when she was very young, and it's by Trina Paulus. It's one little section. How does one become a butterfly? She asked pensively. You must want to fly so much you are willing to give up being a caterpillar. You mean to die? Asked Yellow, remembering the 3 who fell out of the sky. Yes and no, he answered. What looks like you will die, but what's really you will still live. Thank you all for your patience today. It's been a long service, but a beautiful one. And please, everyone's welcome downstairs to fellowship hour. Have a great summer. I will not be back leading worship until September. So I know. You'll see Trisha soon. And then please, we have a great summer worship schedule planned out with lots of different interesting services. So please come to those. All right. Have a good day.